Welcome, everyone, to Ballers to Balding, where, as always, our opinions are strong and our follicles are weak. And if you like what you hear, please follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and remember, with low expectations, you're never disappointed.
Never.
That's our sweet spot, baby.
It's our sex lives.
Yeah,
it's our sex lives.
Well, not with each other. Let's make that clear. Jesus. All right, Ross. How you doing this week?
Oh, Paul, this is, just a great week. I'm out here in Phoenix, and the sun's getting higher in the sky.
Nice.
The UV index is at a 6+ consistently. Raise. My eyes and my teeth are popping. I feel like a better person when I'm tanned. And as you know, my hair is always better with rays.
I'll tell you something right now. We always talk about your hair and your appearance. I actually had a hair catastrophe this week.
Do tell.
I was spending a couple days in Palm Springs, and I'm walking around, and I realized that my hair is sticking straight up, bone dry. I put my hand through it. It was like I was opening a bag of chips. That's how dry it was. So I go back to the hotel, and I realize what happened, right? The shower, as often is the case, has those little bottles of product mounted to the wall.
Yeah.
And the writing on it is freaking microscopic. You literally have to wear glasses when you take a shower to see what the hell is in there. So it's like a game of Russian roulette. And I had actually washed my hair with body gel, which, by the way, is not soap. It's like industrial. It's designed to remove sunscreen scum and, dried chlorine. And the smell on that stuff, what the smell, it's always aggressive and insane. It's like Midnight Wolf Thunder or something as a flavor. So, yes. And even after I shampooed with shampoo, I was still itchy for like a day. It was brutal.
Oh my God. Are you crazy? Are you fucking crazy? You use commercial products on your hair? How many times have we talked about this after year? You always need to bring your own product. Come on, you're better than that.
Listen, this was a resort. It wasn't like a 4 seasons, but it was a 2.5 to a 3 seasons. I figured that the product would be fine. I don't do that, It's their fault. It should be color-coded with writing so you can see what you're doing. And look, I blame them, but I am not someone who doesn't take personal responsibility. A few weeks ago, I washed with dog shampoo by accident. And that time it was my fault. I should have seen there's a big picture of a golden retriever on the bottle. I should have known.
All right.
All right, buddy.
No, wait. You're not getting past this. All right. Let me tell you a story. After 9/11, if you recall, there was a limitation on the amount of you could have in it for liquids, 3.5 ounces. So I go through because I'm traveling, and the TSA guy stops me, and he says, "I'm sorry, sir. Your hair products can't get through. There's too much in them." I said, "What, are you kidding me?" And he said, "Yeah, I've got to take them away." And I looked at him, and more than I'd ever meant anything, I said, "Sir, the terrorists have already won if I have bad hair." And he understood it.
He let you go.
He let me go. Me go. So I just don't have much sympathy on you for this. I still think you're looking good, but I'm just saying, come on.
All right. Let's get to it, man. We're going to talk Olympics. We got some great stuff today with the Olympics. But let us start with our douchebag of the week. I'm going to have you go first. Who is your douchebag of the week?
So we're doing some Olympics today, but I'm going to go against the trend. And my douchebag of the week is a gentleman by the name of Tony Clark. You may be saying, who is Tony Clark? Well, he's a former Major League Baseball player, actually played for the Red Sox in 2002. He's the Major League Baseball Players Association Executive Director, or he was. And he was the first former player to actually be elected to that position. And you may be thinking, well, then why is Tony a douche? Well, apparently, the union was conducting an internal inquiry as a result of an open federal investigation into the Player Association's finances. So there was an investigation going on, and the union decided we're going to do an internal investigation, anything. And apparently this related to some self-dealing and nepotism that was happening at MLB Players Association. So what did they find when they did this internal inquiry? Forget the self-dealing. they found that Tony was having an affair with his brother's wife, who also works for the Players Association. So forget about the nepotism, forget about the self-dealing. The head guy is banging his brother's wife. I mean, remember Cain and Abel? This is worse. This is worse. I mean, can you imagine what's going to happen when they're sitting at next year's Thanksgiving dinner? The concept of a home run is totally different. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that because of this finding, Tony, a.k.a. douchebag of the week, had to resign. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, as we're going to talk a little bit about later, that leaves the Players Association without a leader as it heads into its negotiations for the collective bargaining agreement with the baseball owners. And there's a lot of talk about there potentially being a lockout because the owners want a salary cap. So this is a horrible time. Nevertheless, as seems to happen with a lot of these dudes who are in charge, they have inappropriate relationships with underlings. And what makes this even more surprising to me, in addition to Tony being a complete douchebag, have you seen Tony recently? Because he's a good-looking guy, but what he decided to do was to grow that David Letterman long white beard. So he's got the long white beard and he's bald. Unfortunate for him, because he probably also has been using dog shampoo on his head. Just
happened once.
All right. Anyway, so he's got the long white beard. He looks so bad. It's like he's channeling his inner Ayatollah. I mean, he just looks so bad. And it just says to me again, I'm just shocked that these women are going for these guys when they're just such douchebags. So that's my douchebag of the week, Tony Clark.
So this is a guy in charge of negotiating billion-dollar deals in protecting players from conflicts of interest. And he couldn't avoid the most obvious conflict of interest in human history, right? Right? I mean, you don't have to read the HR handbook, Tony. It's in the Bible.
Oh, wait. You mean you're not allowed to have sex with your brother's wife?
Who's an underling at work?
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't do that anyway. But
that's a great one, Ross. Well done,
Quite a
sir.
douche. Quite
well
a douche.
Done.
Thank you.
So my douchebag of the week, and I would say, I don't even think this guy's a douche. I just think that he was a douche this week. So the U.S. wins the gold medal, as we're going to talk about, beating the Canadian team. And the Canadian team has to line up for their silver medal, and they're miserable. I mean,
saw this.
Did you see it? I mean, they look like they've just all been told they have herpes. You know? Right? And the Olympic Committee... Take a breath. And the Olympic Committee does with this medal what they do with every medal winner. In addition to giving them the actual medal, they hand out a little plush toy, which is the Olympic mascot, a little white stout named Tina, right? And I mean, they've just lost and they're being handed this little plush toy. I give these players a lot of credit. They had a lot of class. I mean, you've just lost the gold medal and you're handed this. And then comes Nathan MacKinnon, who's a superstar player, right? And he's handed this little toy and he looks at it with full disgust. He's just shaking his head like Tina personally ruined his life. I mean, this guy's a superstar with millions of dollars and he's acting like, he's about to square off with Build-A-Bear. And it's on live TV. So the internet goes crazy. They're predicting Tina's about to get her head ripped off and she's not getting out alive. And then later, MacKinnon is being interviewed and he ends up by saying to the reporter, "You be the judge of who the better team was." Like, come on, newsflash, dude. There is no judge or anything for this one. This sport has a scoreboard, And I get it. Losing hurts. But here's the thing. Late in the third, tie game, MacKinnon gets a backdoor shot and he misses a wide open net. He completely chokes. Check this out. I'm going to put up the picture. I mean, he missed this shot, which is a total choke. As MacKinnon would say, "I'll let you be the judge." So congratulations, Nathan MacKinnon. You didn't just lose the gold. You lost your composure, your chance at a winner, and a public fight with a stuffed toy. You are a douchebag of the week.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
We got to transition that into our opening talk, which is about the gold medal game, which was it was one of the most phenomenal games. I mean, I was out late the night before. It was 5:00 here. I got up to watch it. And a lot of people, like, the Canadian team looked like they outplayed them for a good chunk of the game, which is true. Canada was amazing. But I just want to point out that this U.S. team was specifically built to beat Canada. They knew they weren't going to win a track meet, so they leaned into their defense and their goaltending, two areas where they did dominate. And that's why, they got criticism when guys like Cole Caulfield and Jason Robertson weren't put on the roster. Total elite scorers, no question, but they don't play the two-way game. And the U.S., built a team to win a 2-1 game, and that's exactly what they did. And I thought it was like the level of play and it was so exciting. It was awesome. Awesome. I thought it was the greatest game ever. And you are, look at you. What's your take?
Meh.
Oh, come on. That's impossible.
No, it's a great game. It's a great game. But I mean, first, I think you've just said it. You said because there was criticisms on who was on the team because the pros are playing. That to me is just such a loss. And by the way, it's not just a loss for Olympic hockey. I would not have the pros play in basketball either. But I mean, so that's one thing. And to me, the biggest thing is it's just not the same as when it was against the Soviet Union. I mean, the Soviet Union, they were the global competitor of the U.S. in everything. Everything. It's just like, when you'd go to the bathroom, you'd say, my piss was better than that guy from the Russia. I just thought everything, everything mattered. I mean, they were the epitome of the evil empire. They built the Berlin Wall. They invaded Afghanistan before the Olympics. I mean, shit. Drago killed Apollo. I mean, I can't. If that doesn't create the venom for an Olympic hockey game, I don't know what it was. And Canada, God love them. As far as that competition and that anger, they just don't match up. I mean, what? Maybe they've done some trade deal with China, but do we really care? Who cares? And I mean, I even liked their former prime minister, Justin Trudeau, good-looking guy, good hair, dates Katy Perry now. I mean, I kind of like Canada. I can't. And so to me, it just did not have the same effect. Now, I would mention to you, though, something that actually came up while I was doing my research for today's podcast. I got to tell you, Joseph Stalin had tremendous hair. He really did.
But he's not really Canadian. He's Russian.
I know, but he's, again, it goes back to the Soviet Union thing. I mean, even when he wore that stupid hat, if you see him when he took the hat off, no hat head. I mean, despot, psychopath, mass murderer, but tremendous hair. I just add that as a side because I think that's an important.
All right. I say that the Canada rivalry, I think the Canada rivalry is still great. It's just different. And you're right. The Soviet Union was more like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Clear villain, good versus evil, the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. Canada to me is more like a sibling rivalry. It's like one of the siblings runs the global economy and launches rockets and owns Hollywood, and the other has Justin Bieber and round bacon that tastes like ham. I mean, it's true. Hockey was the one thing that they had over us, the one thing, their identity, their pride, their emotional support animal. I mean, and now we are taking that too, which is so horrible. It actually kind of reminds me of your douchebag of the week, Tony Clark. He's probably sitting there, right? He's like, yeah, I'm head of $1 billion union and I'm way more successful than my brother. But, he does have that nice wife. Maybe I should take that too. So anyway, that the rivalry now, it's not geopolitical anymore. It's personal. It's petty. It's family drama and skates. And I like it. I like it. And the Canadians are great hockey players. And if you like hockey, it's great hockey. And boy, are they going to be pissed. They are going to be pissed that next Olympics. It's going to be great. They got to wait around. They got to wait around and eat their maple syrup for 4 years.
Yeah, but
all right.
Paul, the thing with the Soviet Union is if they were pissed, they could potentially invade a European nation. There's not. You don't have the
They
same
already
thing with Canada.
have. They already have.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Um,
That's a good point.
Yeah, it was great hockey. Very.
It was a
thrilling.
good game. It was a great game, and I do acknowledge it. Just to me, it's just not the same with the pros, etc. But that's my own issue.
I will say the only thing about the pros is that that the dream team, we went out and we won by 50, and basketball, the world is closing in, but the NHL is such an international league that all the teams, even the Swedes were really good at that. We beat them in overtime. There were so many great overtime games. And you either can watch that or you can turn to the USA Network and have curling 24/7. So I love it.
Paul, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think was this win similar to what you would think if the if some world basketball team beat the best U.S. team? Would this be a similar equivalent? Like the U.S. is kind of better, but it's pretty close.
Well, Canada is a little bit better, but we're very close. I think it's a lot closer. I think that, if Sweden had beat us or Sweden had beat Canada, that would be more like that. I think we're a little closer, but it's still an upset, and it's still, I'm telling you, it bothers the shit out of Canada.
Oh, you could tell. You could tell.
It bothers the shit out of them because, like I said, it's the one thing they still had on us.
And I'll tell you, McKinnon's reaction made me think a little bit more Soviet Union.
Yeah,
when I saw how he reacted.
He was
that
couldn't
got
hide
my
it.
blood boiling a little. That got my blood boiling a little.
I
bit,
just didn't like it. I just didn't like it when he said, I'll let you be the judge. There is no judge. It's not figure skating, McKinnon.
No.
He's a little salty. Which actually, the next Olympics, by the way, now is going to be in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go to as much as I can. And
I'm coming to your house. I'm coming to your house.
You're welcome to stay here. $20,000 a week. And you know what? You've been to my house. In my guest room shower, I have bottles of product, and they are labeled. The labels are this big. You can see them. Even though you're not going to use them. You're not going to touch them.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There could be Alpo in there for all I know.
So I should say our good friend, our old friend that we've been friends with for years, Dave Margolis, just moved to LA last year because he's working for LA 28. And surprisingly, he's not some low-level mouth breather handing out like lanyards or assigning laminated credentials. He's the head of procurement. Margo's the head of procurement. I mean, he buys everything for the Olympics, from the volleyballs to the medals to the special California porta potties designed for gluten-free poo. I mean, he's the checkbook for all of it. Billions and billions of dollars that he won't tell us exactly, but he probably is spending billions. And I've told him, I was like, look, everything in my house is up for procurement. I mean, I have a coffee machine that would be perfect for the Olympic Village. $500, put it right in there. Everything he sees. I got bottles of teeth whitening mouthwash, $100 a pop. He can have them. I said, the British team will use those up in a day. But he's like, oh, I could never do business with a friend. It's unethical. Where the fuck does he think he is? This is Los Angeles. This city is built on unethical, right? Has he flown into LAX? It's been under construction for 8 years. It's like $1 billion over budget. I'm sure, and half that money is spent on consultants, that have meetings. I'm sure they're not friends with anybody. But anyway, so we'll see. It worries me, though, when he's like, when he's so caught up on being ethical, I don't see how the Olympics are going to take place here. If you truly make the 28 games a real Los Angeles experience, they'd be postponed to like 2035 and be $1 trillion over budget. That's how you make them an LA experience.
I'm just surprised that the Olympics always go to LA.
Why?
Because the people are so annoying. People are so annoying.
They're not annoying.
Oh my god. No one ever works in LA. Everyone just like writes or has meetings. No one ever actually like goes to a specific job. It's the weirdest thing. And I don't know.
It might be a generalization that you're making.
You think?
Yeah. But but generalizations are often based on things that are true.
That's true.
I think at the very least, he should be a buddy and pull a few strings and get us in the opening ceremony.
Absolutely. I'm expecting it.
You know? But I'm not wearing one of those. I'm not going to wear one of those crazy outfits. I'm not putting on some giant paper mache head that represents global unity. That's what they're like every time.
I'm going to dress as a tariff.
The opening ceremonies are always like 1,000 dancers dressed as agriculture, and then someone's dressed as the economy. And then one guy representing innovation, doing interpretive yoga and like a glittery leotard. It's so stupid. We should be allowed to do like normal American things. You and I sitting in a lawn chair with a grill,
Yeah, totally.
Chirping the teams as they come out in their crazy outfits.
Yep, absolutely. The opening and the closing ceremonies, they're so nuts. They're just so nuts. Like you said, they're dressing as agriculture. What does that even mean?
They all look, everyone's like, this is an amazing opening. And they look like the same ones as every year. There's a lot of lights and people dressed in crazy outfits doing dances, and then people singing who I've never heard of. Sometimes I've heard of them, but it's not great. I just want to be there. How great would it be if you and I could just sit in a chair, like at a folding table, and just chirp every team as they came out in their matching outfits? It would be amazing. Hey, we'd be like, France, you look like a group of DJs that got rejected from Burning Man. Fuck you. I mean, it'd be just what? That's the real America to me.
You think? Oh,
I think it'd be great.
If I'm in a lounge chair, though, I'm going to want to be able to catch some rays. Is that possible?
Well, we get the person in the paper mache thing representing the sun just to stand near you.
Oh God. It's funny. It is amazing that we have this friend who's like so heavily involved in this, and he's so high up in the food chain over there. And I am hoping to get some tickets from him, etc. He doesn't seem that excited.
He says he can't.
About
he's
it.
very by the book. He's very,
he's
focusing on ethics and doing it the right way and all that. And that is not the Olympic way. That is not the Olympic spirit. The Olympic spirit is kickbacks and nepotism, and he's just not embracing it the way I wish he would. He's into this whole honesty thing. You think if he went to Karen Bass's house, the mayor of LA, she wouldn't be trying to sell him everything she had, and it'd be a lot more expensive than my coffee maker. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. The Olympics. We have time to work on that one, Roscoe.
Right.
And you had mentioned baseball, and it's like it's weird to even talk about baseball because there might be a lockout.
Yeah, so going back to why Tony Clark is such a douche, this is coming up. Pitchers and catchers, and actually all the teams have now reported for spring training. Spring training is up and running. And so starting to do my diligence on the Red Sox. We are going to talk about the Red Sox next week, and about and just Major League Baseball overall. But then I thought to myself, is it even worth doing that? Because even though they're fine for this season, next season, there's a very high likelihood that there's going to be a lockout because the owners are going to lock out the players because the owners want a salary cap, which is always, and you've heard this before, they want some mechanism to stop themselves from overspending. And if they have a lockout, I got to tell you, Paul, baseball, the way it is right now, I mean, it is a distant third place as far as popularity in the national lexicon. So I don't know, man. I think that it would just be the dumbest business strategy.
I agree. I think a lockout, I totally agree with you, which doesn't make it fun. But I mean, a baseball lockout would be the dumbest business thing in sports history. Nothing says grow the game like telling casual fans, hey, remember that sport you barely watch? Yeah, we're going to cancel it for a while so that billionaires and millionaires can argue over decimal points. You know what happens when baseball goes away? Nothing. Nobody misses it. They move on. Mm-hmm. And when it comes back, it's like a friend who ghosted you and then comes back to you 6 months later and asks if they can borrow money. Where have you been? It's not a smart thing to do, and but they'll do it because,
greed, man.
Greed.
And I was going to tell you, as you were talking, I'm thinking to myself, they're not for the same reasons. WNBA, they're starting to go down that path too. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Jesus.
Well, next week, we're wrapping up here already. My gosh, it goes fast. We're wrapping up. Next week, we're going to have something very special. We're going to keep it a surprise, but we're going to be on location. We're going to be in the same spot, and we are going to do a podcast together on location, and it should be very exciting for us, but probably not anyone else. But for us, it'll be exciting. All right, Roscoe.
All right, buddy.
Have a great week.
All right.
Please use sunblock because too much vitamin D can bring vitamin C, if you know what I'm saying. So be careful, and we'll talk soon.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy. Have a great one.